Today's webinar will be going over document templates. This is a great way to transition from paper leases to electronic signature. First, we'll go to documents on the left-hand side and then landlord forms. Here, you'll be able to see all of the preloaded forms that we do provide. The state-specific forms are going to be a feature on the Pro and Business plan, but you also can purchase them in a package on the Starter and Growth plan. As you can see, there's tons here available. You can also filter by property at the top. If it is a different state address, that state-specific form will pop up if it is available. There's also general forms at the bottom, some really good ones. A popular one that a lot of people tend to use is the lead-based paint disclosure, but there's also general agreements in there and rule addendums as well as other notices. The next place we'll go to is My Templates, which is also under Documents on the left-hand side, and we'll create our own. Here you can either create your own by copying and pasting and typing it live in the document editor, or you can upload a PDF. For right now, we'll create one. And uploading the PDF is only available on certain plans, so you can ask us about which plans those include. And then it'll ask you what type of template it is. For the tenant agreements, that's anything that you send at move-in. Tenant notice will be sent at any other time. And then the owner agreement is made for when you are setting up an owner in your account. So since I made a notice, we'll do a notice instead. And here I can type out exactly what I want the notice to say. I'm going to leave some empty spots that I can take advantage of with the autofill elements. So things such as tenant name, property address. So if you go to the right, there's also fields that you can drag and drop, such as signature boxes. You can format that signature box once you've dropped it, and you can also add date signed. Here you can see that the signatures are different colors when they are assigned to different people. So if you click on the box on the right hand side, you can change the assignment to yourself or to the tenant. And you can also do that with the date signed and initial boxes as well. This will allow you to sign your own document before you send it out to the tenant. Back to the right on the autofill elements, there's tons of autofill capabilities. As I mentioned, I will put the tenant full name at the beginning where I left the open spot for the name. And I can also do autofill elements such as property address and even rent balance, as you can see in just a second. You can search by keywords in the autofill elements just to see if what you're looking for is an option. And like I said, there's tons in there, so it probably will be. And once I've gotten everything formatted, I can hit continue. It's going to ask if there's any other materials you need to add to the notice that you'd want to send, so you can always do that there as well. And then it'll ask if you want to add default signatures to this. Since I already drag and dropped the signature boxes, I will not add it, but if you don't during the editing process, you can do that then. Once you've made the notice, you'll be able to use the template. You can click on the messenger at the top right corner and find the tenant thread that you're hoping to send the notice to. In the message box for that tenant, there's going to be a paperclip where you can attach attachments and then a little notice symbol where you can select your template that you'd like to send to them. Since my template is not complete, I'll go ahead and use the welcome letter. And you can see here that the system has filled out a lot of it based on the information about the tenant in the system. Once I've proofread that, I can hit send. And you can now see it in the thread for that tenant on the messenger. Next, we'll go back and create a document template using a PDF instead of copy and pasting or typing. So we'll go to create new template and then upload PDF. Again, it's going to ask for the title. And then this time I'm going to do an agreement because I want to send this at the time of move-in for signature. And then here it'll ask you to upload the file. So you can select your PDF from your computer. Once it's uploaded, you can hit continue and you'll be brought to the editor once again. As you can see here on my PDF, I left blank spaces that I wanted to use with the autofill elements. So I can drag and drop those again onto the document, and then I can resize them to fit the document better. So I'll do a couple more. And to resize that, you can just go to the right-hand side and change the font size. Once I've gotten all of the autofill elements added, I can then add the signature fields. You can also change the size on the date signed as well and who it is assigned to on the right-hand side. Once I've proofread that, I can hit Create Template, and then I will be able to use this during the move-in process. And we'll go over the move-in process in a later webinar in depth. For right now, I'm going to pull up a contact that I've already moved in, but I have not sent a document to sign yet. So you're going to view the profile, go to the Leases tab, and then view the active lease. And from there will be a widget titled Lease Agreements, and you'll hit Request. And this will take you back to select the template that you wish to use. So we'll use the template that I created. And as you can see, the green areas, the autofill drag and drop, have filled themselves out based on the information put in the system when moving the tenant in. You can resize it once you do have it filled out, just to make sure that the font matches the rest of the document. And you can format that all before you send it to the tenant for signature. For the signature box, it won't be assigned, so you will want to assign that to either the tenant or yourself. Same with the initials and the date signed. I'm going to go ahead and add a second signature box for the second tenant, as well as a date signed. And then lastly, I'll add a signature box for myself. Here, if you need to edit the signature that pre-populates, if you click on the little pencil icon next to signature on the right-hand side, you'll be able to either draw your signature or type your initials and type your name. I'll lastly add a date signed for myself. Another cool autofill element that was recently added is the check mark. So you can put this in the document that allows the tenant or yourself to check that box. And then once I've reviewed it and I'm ready to send for signature, I'll click Send to Review at the bottom. And now you've just sent a lease agreement or the lease document to be signed. And you can see on the lease page, it will tell you how many tenants have signed and that the signatures are pending. Lastly, we'll take a look at the file manager under documents. And this is where all of your files from your account are going to be stored. Images, documents, videos, and this includes images or videos attached to maintenance request. You can filter it by file type or property, and you can save the filter as well. You can also edit the name, select multiple to download or delete, and view them. As you can see next to some, there are a padlock. That means that the file was shared with the tenant and it's not able to be deleted. You can also change this to the list view or the expanded view. And that's all for our documents section of your TenantCloud account. Like I said, we will go over the move-in process a little more in depth at a future date. Thank you for watching.